Welcome to Ghost Files, where the shadows speak and mysteries come alive. If you love chilling stories, haunted places, and the unexplained, you're in the right place. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated on the darkest tales from around the world. Let's dive into today's haunting. The Dunes of Madness. The sun beat down on the endless dunes, casting a golden glow over the seemingly infinite expanse of sand. Dr. Maria Rodriguez, a renowned archaeologist, trudged through the desert, her eyes fixed on the ancient ruins in the distance. Her team followed closely behind, their footsteps sinking into the scorching sand. As they approached the ruins, a sense of unease settled over Maria. Something felt off. The air was thick with an otherworldly energy, and the sand seemed to writhe and twist beneath their feet. The team began to murmur among themselves, sensing the growing unease. Suddenly, a fierce sandstorm erupted, reducing visibility to near zero. The team huddled together, shielding their faces from the stinging sand. Maria, however, felt an inexplicable pull towards the ruins. She stumbled forward, the storm raging around her. As she entered the ancient structure, the storm ceased, and an eerie silence fell. Maria's eyes adjusted to the dim light, revealing intricate hieroglyphics that seemed to pulse with a malevolent life. She felt herself being drawn into the heart of the ruins, deeper into the darkness. The air grew colder, the shadows twisting into grotesque forms. Maria stumbled upon a hidden chamber, where an ancient artifact lay shrouded in darkness. As she reached out to touch it, the chamber began to shake, and the artifact emitted a blood-curdling scream. Maria's team found her days later, catatonic and alone, her eyes wide with terror. The ruins were gone, swallowed by the sands. The only clue was a cryptic message scrawled in the sand. The dunes have claimed another. From that day on, the desert seemed to whisper a haunting phrase to those who dared to cross it. The dunes of madness will consume you. The last oasis. The sun had long since abandoned the desert, leaving behind a desolate landscape of sand and rock. The last remnants of humanity huddled in a forgotten oasis, a haven of green in a sea of gold. The oasis was called Elgoroth, a place of legend where the weary could find solace. Ava, a young and determined survivor, had been traveling for weeks, driven by the promise of Elgoroth. She had heard tales of its lush gardens, its crystal-clear waters, and its people who still held on to hope. As she crested a dune, the oasis came into view, its palm trees swaying gently in the breeze. Ava's heart swelled with joy, but her excitement was short-lived. The oasis was dying, the gardens were withering, the water sources dwindling, and the people seemed to be losing their grip on reality. They wandered aimlessly, their eyes sunken, their skin parched. Ava soon discovered that Elgoroth's troubles ran deeper than just the harsh environment. A dark force, known only as the Devourer, had begun to stalk the oasis, feeding on the people's fear and desperation. It manifested as a creeping shadow, its presence marked by an unearthly chill. Determined to save Elgoroth, Ava embarked on a perilous quest to uncover the truth behind the Devourer. She scoured the ancient texts, spoke to the elderly wise ones, and braved the treacherous dunes in search of answers. As the days passed, Ava's resolve strengthened, but the oasis's grip on life weakened. The Devourer grew bolder, its presence more pronounced. Ava realized that the only way to defeat the darkness was to confront the source of its power, the collective fear and despair of the oasis's people. with a newfound sense of purpose, Ava rallied the people of Elgoroth. Together, they faced their fears, shared their hopes, and lit a beacon of light in the darkness. The devourer howled in rage as the oasis's energy shifted, its power waning. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the desert in a warm orange glow, Elgoroth's gardens began to flourish once more. The water sources replenished, and the people's eyes regained their sparkle. Ava stood tall, her determination and courage having saved the last oasis from the brink of destruction. In the heart of Elgoroth, a new legend was born. The story of Ava, the guardian of hope, who brought light to the darkness and life to the dying oasis. The shattered reflection. In the heart of the mystical forest of Elvendom, there stood an ancient mirror, its surface etched with intricate runes that seemed to hold the secrets of the ages. The mirror was said to reveal the deepest desires of those who dared to gaze into its depths. Many had attempted to unlock its secrets, but none had succeeded, for the mirror was rumored to shatter the sanity of those who gazed upon its truth. Thyra, a young and ambitious sorceress, had heard the whispers of the mirror's power. She was determined to uncover its secrets, to understand the mysteries that lay beyond the veil of reality. With a deep breath, she approached the mirror, her eyes locked on the runes that seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy. As she gazed into the mirror, Ira's reflection stared back, but it was not what she expected. The mirror showed her a version of herself that was twisted and distorted, a reflection of her deepest fears and doubts. Ira's eyes widened as she saw herself as a failure, a sorceress who had never truly mastered her craft. The mirror revealed the darkest corners of her mind, the fears she had kept hidden even from herself. The mirror's surface began to ripple and distort, like the surface of a pond struck by a stone. Ira's reflection shattered, fragmenting into 1,000 pieces. The sorceress stumbled backward, her mind reeling from the revelation. She saw visions of her past, of the choices she had made, and the opportunities she had let slip away. As she gazed deeper into the mirror, Ira realized that the reflection was not just of herself, but of the world around her. She saw the fragility of reality, the shattered fragments of a world that was not as solid as it seemed. The mirror revealed the hidden patterns and connections that bound everything together. Ira's mind was stretched to its limits as she struggled to comprehend the mirror's revelations. When she finally tore her gaze away, she was changed. Her eyes seemed to hold a deeper understanding, a wisdom that was both exhilarating and terrifying. The mirror, however, remained unchanged, its surface still and calm, waiting for the next brave soul to dare to gaze into its depths. Ira knew that she would never be the same, that the shattered reflection had shown her a truth that would haunt her forever. As she walked away from the mirror, Ira felt the weight of her newfound understanding. She knew that she would never see the world in the same way again, that the shattered reflection had forever changed her perspective. The mirror's secrets were hers to keep, and she would carry them with her for the rest of her days. The eternal night. In the small town of Raven's Peak, nestled in the heart of the mystical forest of Tenebris, the sun had not risen in decades. The residents had grown accustomed to the eternal night, their lives dictated by the lunar cycles and the soft glow of luminescent mushrooms that grew in the shadows. Atrobinaz, a young and curious astronomer, had always been fascinated by the stars. She spent her nights gazing up at the celestial map, searching for answers to the town's eternal darkness. The townsfolk had grown complacent, accepting their fate as a natural phenomenon. But Ava was not convinced. One night, while exploring the abandoned observatory on the outskirts of town, Ava stumbled upon an ancient text that spoke of a celestial event known as the Great Devouring. According to the text, a dark entity had consumed the sun, casting the world into eternal night. Ava's determination to uncover the truth led her to a hidden underground chamber deep within the forest. There, she discovered an ancient artifact known as the Solar Key. As she grasped the key, visions of the past flooded her mind. She saw the world before the Great Devouring, bathed in sunlight and warmth. With the Solar Key in hand, Ava embarked on a perilous journey to the heart of the darkness that had consumed the sun. She navigated treacherous landscapes and battled creatures born from the shadows. Finally, she reached the entity responsible for the eternal night, a being of pure darkness known as the Umbra. Ava confronted the Umbra, and a fierce battle ensued. The Umbra's power was immense, but Ava's determination and knowledge of the celestial map allowed her to find a weakness in the entity's defenses. With a burst of courage, Ava used the Solar Key to unlock the secrets of the universe, and a spark of light was rekindled within the Umbra. The entity, sensing its own darkness, began to transform. It released its hold on the sun, and the celestial body began to shine once more. The town of Raven's Peak was bathed in the warm glow of sunlight, and the residents emerged from their homes, blinking in wonder. As the sun rose higher in the sky, Ava realized that the eternal night had been a test of humanity's resilience. The town would never forget the darkness, but they would thrive in the light. Ava's discovery had brought hope, and with it, a new era of prosperity and growth. The stars still twinkled in the night sky, but now the sun shone bright, illuminating the world.